Hey everyone, it's May 15, 2020, and we're counting down the days until Governor Inslee says that we can go back to work. It feels like counting down the days of a jail sentence. I've spent some time in jail before, and I remember counting down the hours before I could get out. I wasn't in there long enough to count days, but I counted hours, and I got that feeling today. It brought back some memories of when I was counting down. And I was thinking about what I want to do when I go back to work in terms of superstitions. I have a few rituals that always seem to bring me a lot of luck, and I want to repeat some of these. My first year in college, I was very young, and my mom had taken me to meet the dean, and he had lent me this book about differential equations. This is in the math department. And I took it home, and as you can imagine, I took the book everywhere I went. It's kind of like nowadays I take the computer everywhere I go and program stuff, right? We didn't have very nice computers back then, so the differential equations book was the equivalent of that for me at the time. And I quickly destroyed the book because I took it everywhere. And the pages were all wrinkled up, there was water damage, and it was embarrassing. And my mom worried that our dean would ask for the book back. So every time we went to see him, we made sure it was very quick. And we quickly left his office. And he never asked for the book back. I guess he was pleased that I was so interested in these topics. And we learned that we could borrow books from him and never return them. We must have stolen 4 or 5 books from him. And obviously I did very well in college. So every time I meet somebody new, I always try to borrow a book and never return it because it brings me a lot of luck. I'm teaching at Washington Technology University, and my first day there, I had borrowed a book to plan out the course and to create some slides and all that. And I was living in my car at the time, actually, and wouldn't you know it, I accidentally spilled a bottle of hand lotion all over the book. So now I was too embarrassed to return it. Fortunately, my boss never asked for it back. And I did very well. If it weren't for COVID, I'd be doing very well right now. But unfortunately, we lost a lot of students over the COVID crisis. But I'll be going back there soon. I still have my position there. I had another situation that brought me a lot of luck, also involving going to school, which I then repeated in the workplace. When I was 20 years old, I left my parents' home to go to Rochester, New York to pursue my PhD. And my first time driving to Rochester, it was my first significant long distance drive. I had just gotten my license a year before that, and I was celebrating both leaving my family's home and also starting the PhD program. I got really excited, and I had gotten 2 cases of non-alcoholic beer. I think it was a Beck's non-alcoholic beer, and I left my parents' home late at night, and we had headed toward Rochester, New York. My family's from Pittsburgh. This is a 6-7 hour drive away. So I spent the night driving there, and by the time I got to the campus at RIT, because I had drank 2 cases of non-alcoholic beer, I had to go to the bathroom really badly. And so I get into the campus and I rush toward the bathroom. And I'm in such a rush that I urinate on the floor, like some of it on the floor. And, well, as history has shown, I did very well at RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, where I worked on my PhD. And I graduated, right? So now every time before I start my first day of work, I make sure to drink a lot of fluids, and then I go to the bathroom at the office. Obviously, I try to keep it in the toilet, but I always make sure to go in there with a full bladder. And I did that at Washington Technology University as well, and I'm doing very well there. Thank you very much. So I can't prove any of this is helpful, but historically it has worked. And I would hate to not do it and then come to regret that I did not do it. I think they're very easy things to do. Obviously, the borrowing the book, there might be ethical issues, but if they're not going to ask for the book back, I would happily give it back if they asked. So I just like to think that it makes me feel good, And if I get a placebo effect out of it, that's good too. Thanks for watching.